Hello and welcome back to another episode of Saints and Scholars on the road, in the yard, in the garden with me, the eternal scholar, and today's guest is Vincent Happy Minzy. So today we're going to be talking about Vinny and all his work. Vinny is an author and he's brought along all his books. Again, we're in the yard with the seagulls, in nature. It's great crack. So come with us on a journey. I have to wear my shades. Come with us on a journey to the land of saints and scholars. Today we're talking to Vinny and we're going down as far as South Africa, lads. We're in South Africa with this weather.
Yes.
So, Vinny, welcome to Saints and Scholars. Thank you for being on the show with us. We're going to discuss a little bit about your early life, your writing, your books, and a bit about South Africa and things like that. I see you're wearing your South Africa.
African. Got my. Yes.
Lovely. So, Africa is the biggest country in the world, isn't it?
It's the biggest continent. Biggest
yeah.
continent,
And would it? Yeah, and then within it, then it has lots of different countries, isn't that right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it's the biggest landmass on the world, on the planet.
Yeah.
Big place. But we're concentrating down in South Africa, where you were born and reared and educated and did all your we'll say.
Earlier education.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about your early education. Say hello to all the boys. So
Hi, how you guys doing?
So we have people from England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, but everyone from all over the world joins us. So say hello to them in your language, please.
Okay. Sanbonani.
Lovely,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So tell us there about your early life in South Africa.
South Africa. I was born on Easter Sunday, 1970, and in Soweto, the southern western townships. Yeah. And
Speak up.
the southern western townships,
Yeah.
and it was a beautiful place. It was, yeah.
So that's what Soweto stands for.
Yeah,
Southern, Western, Eastern Townships. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And who else was born there? Anyone else we know?
Anybody famous would be Steve Biko was born there.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Biko was born there. He was a big Pan-Africanist. Yeah,
Lovely.
big Pan-Africanist. Yeah.
Great. So tell us then how you were educated and what you learned in your early years.
Well, it's just there's education, which is good. You gotta learn.
Education. So you were educated in a Catholic school, isn't that
yes,
right?
the first school I went to was a Roman Catholic school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then tell us then about your secondary school. You moved to Rhodesia, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Which is now called Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your education in Zimbabwe.
First school was David Livingstone.
David Livingstone.
And then went to Godfrey Huggins.
Right.
And then went to a school called Alan Wilson.
Alan Wilson.
And then afterwards went to a school called Churchill Boys High.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Right. Great. Churchill Boys
High.
Boys High.
Boys
Right.
High School.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about what it was like to grow up in Africa, in South Africa.
It was lovely. I mean, with apart from the apartheid.
Apart from the apartheid,
Yeah.
will you explain to the boys and girls of England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales and all around the world what apartheid is? Some of them mightn't have heard the term.
Okay, apartheid means divide, separate, which is
Yeah.
divide them, which is good.
So explain it. So that was when
The Boers.
the South African people were not allowed to, we'll say, mingle with people of European descent.
European descent, yeah.
Lovely,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So I mean, as in that's the
That's
terminology.
the terminology.
Right. So tell us a bit then about when that ended.
It ended in 1991 and eventually in 1994, 95.
And it started in 48, was it? 1948-ish.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there, yeah.
So if we were back in apartheid times in South Africa, say in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s and all that, you and I wouldn't be allowed to have this conversation.
We wouldn't at all. And
So
it would have been, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, we wouldn't be allowed to have
Yeah,
this conversation.
totally.
Right, okay. And we wouldn't be seen together or anything like that. We wouldn't have been allowed.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be in the same vicinity.
The same vicinity, right. So, okay, so how did you find growing up then in South Africa?
South Africa was well, I was only 6 years old, and then eventually my mom took me to a country called Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, and
explain to the boys and girls why she took you to South Africa, because it's a very interesting reason, isn't it?
To Zimbabwe, man.
Yeah, sorry. Why did she take you there?
Because there was a school, the Roman Catholic school. They would be able to look after you, and then the English, because then they had the English.
Yeah.
They could teach me in English, and
right. So your mum wanted you to learn English.
Yeah, apart from
So that's why she took you to Rhodesia. What was that called, Rhodesia at the time?
Rhodesia then became Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Zimbabwe. Right. Okay. That brings us on now to when you finished your education. Then you did a degree in marketing. Isn't that right?
No. I actually went to a school called the LCCI, and then eventually the London Chambers of Commerce.
Right.
Then I went to the AAA School of Advertising in Cape Town,
right.
which stands for Association of Advertising Agency in Cape Town.
Yeah.
I did 3 years there.
Yeah.
And then in 1994, I got to work for the advertising agency that was dealing with the ANC's advertising agency.
And that's where you were doing a recce for the advertising agency, and you were sent to Durban to find out, to make sure that Durban was safe enough for the one and only freedom fighter, that is the world famous Nobel Peace Prize winner and Lenin Peace Prize, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
Mandela to be free. So you were sent to Durban to make sure that the place was safe. It's going to be peaceful for him. So you had to do what's called a recce. A reconnaissance mission. You were on a mission.
Yeah, precisely.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
So you go to a place and suss it out.
Yeah.
So when you were there, you discovered that it had a metro. And you thought, well, this metro wouldn't be safe because at the time, do you want to tell the boys and girls?
Oh yeah, because at the time there was some political movements that they were against each other, and I just said, if Mandela, if that metro is not stopped, Mandela is not going to come here. And I'm like, okay, fine.
So you, in your reconnaissance, you realised that because it had a metro, it would probably be better off to have the metro stopped. Now, that was the build-up. But tell the boys and girls out loud, make sure they can hear you. Tell them all about your interaction, your encounter with Madiba, as he was affectionately known.
Yes, Madiba. I mean, I've did a lot of recordings with him. Very
so tell us all.
Okay, the first thing is, I hadn't met him. The first thing he said to me, "So you are Vincent?" He was like, okay, he knows my name. I was like, wow, it was nice.
So he knew your name?
Yeah, before I even shook I was about to shake I was like, to introduce myself. He said, oh, so you're Vincent. You know what he said to me? You're doing good work for us. I was like, thank you, sir.
No?
Yeah.
So how did he know you?
He must have been told by his security guys.
And what was he, when you met him, were you you were totally awe-inspired by him?
Totally,
And he was a sort of a political rock star, wasn't he?
He's a very powerful man.
He was very powerful, but also he was a very peaceful man as well.
Yes.
And tell us about how you felt about him at the time, and maybe a little bit of background, in case somebody hasn't heard of Nelson.
I was at the age of 15. I told myself I'm going to meet him. I just told myself I was going to meet him, and I eventually got to meet him at the age of 23. I was like, it was nice. And I was like, I told myself at the age of 15, I'm going to meet him.
You're going to meet him?
Yeah.
Great. So, have you been inspired by the works of Nelson Mandela?
Yeah. Some of his quotations. He's got beautiful quotations.
Fantastic.
His quotations so powerful.
Yeah. And he spent 27 years in jail in Robben Island. Now, he was a lawyer. He was a politician. He was a philanthropist. He's a lot of books out there about him.
Yeah.
You could read. But he was lovely as well, and he when it came to fighting for the ANC, will you explain what the ANC is?
ANC, it stands for African National Congress.
Yeah, and he was fundamental in ending apartheid.
Apartheid, yeah.
Yes, that's all coming together for us now.
Yeah.
And he also, what was the freedom thing the Freedom Convention that they wrote?
Oh, you mean the Freedom Charter?
The Freedom Charter.
Freedom Charter, yeah.
So the Freedom Charter.
Yeah,
so that was it. So they really wanted to have South Africa. They wanted it to be a country where everyone could live in harmony, as best as we can, as best as anyone can. Yeah. So they wanted to live in harmony, and they wanted black people to have rights and white people to have rights, and
every human being, every
so you could speak their own language,
and
everything.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah. Now, one of the nice quotes from Mandela is when all these awful apartheid wars were going on, one of the things he urged people to do was to take the weapons and throw them into the sea.
Yes, that's what he said.
Imagine if everyone decided to do that now. Wouldn't it be great?
It would be great.
Except for the pollution. But wouldn't it be really great if they took all the ammunition and just put it into storage? Like, not even storage. What would you do with all the ammunition in the world? Sorry, we're getting sidetracked here. Maybe a container in the sea, actually.
Lift under the sea.
It's brilliant.
Probably a great idea.
Or take parts of it and melt it down and
reuse it. Reuse it. That's the whole thing. Which is that's what they do. A lot of cars, they crush the cars, isn't it?
Sorry, we're getting off topic. Let's check the time there. I've no watch. Okay. So that's great. Now let's start talking about your books, because you're an author.
Yeah.
And I've also done this picture for you here. So when you come on Saints and Scholars, you always get a picture. That's the way of it, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to take this picture off here. Now, just to show the boys and girls, this came and bought a pizza thing, right?
Yeah.
And I saw that this was round. I thought that'd make a nice picture. So as you can see here, I've done this picture. And Vinny, will you tell the boys and girls of England?
That's Table Mountain. Table Mountain, and Robben Island is where Mandela was for 27 years, and he was looking at this for 27 years. Which is
so there's. Although he was imprisoned, that was his view.
That
was his view.
Yeah.
So I've just done this up really quickly, just because this is an art show as well.
Yeah.
So all I've done here is I've just used a bit of blue, bit of white, a bit of green, and I've done some pencil marks, and then just a little bit of white, and then this is the sand. It's easy. I'd actually written something there beforehand, but I just painted over it. So. Again, imagine if I was to get an actual picture. Would like an actual canvas?
Give it a canvas,
it'd be great. But you'd have to come back and discuss your next book if you're going to be getting another picture. So Vinny, let's break this down and start talking about your books. Your first book, my love, is called Africa Must Unite. You have the floor. Tell us all about it.
This is an alphabetical book. This book is a compilation of African royal and present, African historical events, the A to Z of African leaders, and the guidance of the formation of the United Countries of Africa now. This book is to emancipate, to raise awareness, to raise their consciousness, to motivate and organize the African community to respect themselves and to grow economically, socially, culturally, and it highlights the beginnings of Pan-Africanism, Congress in the 1900s, and the present African unity ambitions. And I wrote a prediction that Africa will be united by 2025, hopefully. We just pray.
So when you say Africa would be united, is it not united now?
No. It's still got these
warring factions and stuff.
No, it's got all these different flags. You see, this is.
Right.
This is.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you want it to just be one big country.
One continent, and have one. Yeah. So there's so many, like, presidents here, and most of them, there's so many minerals are coming out of there, and some of them don't even know what's happening. They just.
Okay, so let's just go back to this one. Okay. So this book is about. There's your picture there.
Yeah.
So you want Africans to unite, and that's and do you lay the foundation for how that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Or how it could happen?
How it could happen. It goes to the bottom here. Let me just give it a slight read. Actually,
Yeah, take time.
a proposal for the African democracy. That's the message then. The African unification, the importance of the message is the success of Africa compelled me to make a proposal to make the people of Ghana and Africa. This is by Kwame Nkrumah, who was the initial person that wanted Africa must be united. And I quoted him, which is another thing. So the political kingdoms of the United Africa were founded and governed by the tenets and philosophy of the African democracy. So we've got to have to make our own philosophy of the democratic statement. And the proposal of the African democracy is based on my strong belief of the attainment of the benefits of African unification, and greatly depends on the creation of the right of the formation and unification in Africa. So this is a beautiful quotation, and I even wrote the economic things. These are mine now. I'm just like saying the economic and political union of the 53 United Countries of Africa should operate through a hybrid system of supranational independent institutions, intergovernmental made decisions negotiated by the member states. The UCA will implement the following institutions, which is the African Commission, which will be the executive body of the African Union. The body is responsible for proposing legislation, implementing decisions, upholding the union's treaties, and the day-to-day running of the union. The African Union Commission will operate as a cabinet government.
I get it. You want one world government for for Africa. Okay, I get it. Right, and is that followed on in this one?
Yeah.
Right, and is there much history about?
It's similar.
It's similar,
but
what's the difference?
The difference was when I wrote this. It was. I wrote this, and then I wrote this for the children, which is I rewrote it.
So this one is more if young people want to learn up on Africa. So the economics, what else would they learn from it?
Everything. Even look, remember the apartheid laws. It's alphabetically ordered. It's everything.
So they could get the history.
The history.
Fantastic. Just for time here, Vinny, I'm going to speed you along, my love.
Right,
so inspired, Vincent happy. So you left out the happy.
Yeah, I just.
Should never leave out the happy. All right. So tell us about inspire.
When I wrote this, it was a book of quotations, but it's there. That's it.
Oh, Vincent happy. Okay, but tell us, is this how inspiring is this in 3.5 sentences?
It is which is one thing. A good life, okay? This is a good life. A good life is when you smile often, dream big, laugh a lot, and realize how blessed you are for what you have. Let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Your actions louder than your words.
Excellent.
And by humanity, enjoy life. Life is for us to live the best of what we're best at. So discover what you are good at and share it with the world and make a mint. By Vincent Happy Munisi, I wrote that. My quotation here.
Nice, yeah. Brilliant, lovely, we love that. And somebody put music to that, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'll put a link into that as well, how you get to the music, because it's so inspiring. It's really, really inspiring. My favourite part of it is, you don't like me, don't talk to me. Problem solved. Problem solved. How did you come up with that, Vinny? If you don't like me, don't talk to me, problem solved. How did you come up with that? Such genius.
I woke up, when you wake up when you feel like writing, when you're thinking something and you just wake up and you just because I was busy writing this. And basically, why shouldn't I? And you got to have a pen, piece of paper, wherever you sleep. So whenever you wake up with a thought.
Are you talking about inspire to be a writer?
To be a writer,
We'll certainly love that. Tell us about the next book. This book is fictional, I know that.
Yeah.
Lovely. So it's more geared towards adults, maybe.
Yeah, totally. It's
fictional.
It's the Adventures of an African Dealer. It's just
a dealer
of diamonds. Whatever. It's just the
sort of a Del Boy kind of character.
Yeah,
a Del Boy.
And I used a fictional.
A fictional name. Fictional name. Right. Okay. So Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
next book, My African
The
Black
Black
Book.
Book.
Tell us about this.
This one here explains a lot, which is my African Black Book. It just tells you about what should happen in Africa,
Right.
and
what should happen in Africa?
Okay.
Because has Africa got high levels of poverty?
yes, totally,
Yeah.
and we
And
shouldn't.
it's kind of, and so like in lots of places, are the resources mismanaged?
Or where all the resources mainly come from. Yeah.
Right.
There's
So-
a lot of resources come
yeah.
from there.
So the resources are mismanaged,
Mismanagement.
corruption and
Corruption,
things like that.
yeah,
And but isn't that all over the world, Vinny? Isn't there corruption all over the world?
But Africa is the worst because then there's nobody who's totally in control of anything.
Right.
It becomes another construment where everything just keeps disappearing, and we're
Right.
just wondering.
So tell us about some of the problems that African people face on a daily basis.
Food, no food. You know what I mean. Some of them don't even have water because there's a lot of things that.
And which where's pretty bad?
In Sudan,
Sudan.
Yeah, Sudan.
South Sudan is the youngest country in the world, isn't that right?
Yeah, it is.
Right. So, give us one solution apart from a one continent government. What else? What would be a practical solution that people could do or a society could do?
That would be. A solution would be just live and we don't need to create war animosities.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't need those things in life.
Yes,
And,
throw the guns into the sea.
So,
Lovely. And what about the resources? So you mentioned to me before that Africa is very rich in minerals.
Of course,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
All the diamonds.
And the diamonds.
All the
Yeah.
cocoa, or the chocolate comes from
Yeah.
the cocoa.
Yeah.
Everything comes from there. The Nestle, Cadbury's, they all take the chocolates from there.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
grows from the cocoa bean is grown there.
Cocoa
And what
there.
about other resources, things that are put into mobile phones and things like that?
Oh
All
yes,
these-
the cobalt. Cobalt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from the DRC,
Yeah.
which is the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
And it's one of the richest places in the world.
It's rich in,
In minerals.
resources and minerals, but the mismanagement
of
doesn't trickle down.
Doesn't
Yeah.
trickle down to.
And how many hours a day might somebody have to work to mine cobalt?
Oh, well, do you know when they're using mines a day?
9.
Yeah, about
9.
8, 9.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Are we ready to talk about your next book?
Can I explain the cobalt thing? When I saw that they were using children to dig down,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is sad.
Yeah.
You know, they were using 6-year-old, and there's armies standing for them. You know, I was like, no, this is not
Yeah,
nice.
we don't like
You
that.
don't need
Yeah.
that. You don't need
No,
that. Yeah.
it would be. Would it be easy to, if some say multi-millionaire came along, guy, woman, lad, lass, probably some guy who's made a fortune, I don't know, on something. Could one or two multi-millionaires sort out Africa? Could they feed and clothe all the people in Africa and educate them?
There's a lot of
Yes or no, Vinny?
There is. There's a lot of billionaires in
Yeah.
Africa
Yeah.
who could solve it.
In
Yeah, in
Africa?
Africa.
And they could solve.
They could solve it within one.
Just a few phone calls and a few transfers of wealth and stuff.
So many. Most of the presidents are billionaires already.
Really?
So you just wonder
Yeah.
why there's
Yeah.
still suffering and starvation in Africa.
Right, so it could be done.
Yeah,
So it's
it
just
can be.
willpower.
It is.
Willpower.
It's willpower.
It's
Yeah.
willpower. Right, okay. So can we move on to the next
Yeah,
one?
cool. Sure,
Because time.
Okay.
Time.
Great.
Right. I think okay, yeah. This book
It's
is
the African
African Bible.
Yeah, the African
Great.
Bible.
And
yeah.
what's that? Is that written? Is that just a translation like the King James Bible, or what's
No,
that?
this let me just read the back of this.
Do read the back of
Okay.
it.
This Bible is composed of extracts from the Colburn Bible, the Red Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I've not added or taken anything out of these books. I felt obliged to compile this African Bible And I pray that Africans that can adopt the true religion of God and understand that God lives in them, making them virtually gods too. Start to live your godly life on earth and stop praying for heaven when heaven is right here on earth. Discover your godly purpose because everyone is born with a divine spark in them. Discover your spark, get enlightened, and start enjoying your life here on earth.
Fantastic.
Right, Vincent Minisaki, that's right.
Vincent, that sounds great. So, how much research then? Because you quoted all those, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that.
Yeah.
How much work did you have to put into that? Because that's the thickest book,
Yeah,
the
it
biggest
is.
book.
It is.
So, did that take a few years, months, weeks, days, hours? Tell us.
It took me, I think, 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah. And I did it in Manchester.
38 weeks.
Yeah. and I did it in Manchester. And when I was doing my masters in Manchester, and
Yeah.
and the sun shone. When I finished it, the sun shone for 7 days.
Oh, just like that. Did we talk about your second name, Minzy?
Happy.
No.
Minisi.
Minisi.
We the swallows. We make the rainfall.
You make the rainfall.
make
So
the
in
rainfall.
your African tribal tradition,
Yeah.
your name means rainmakers.
Rainmakers.
And rain is important because if you don't have
Rain. Then no, there won't be any food.
Yeah. So water is a vital element of life. Of life.
It's the most vital element.
And do you know even a bishop is 90% water?
Pardon?
A bishop is 90%
Whoa,
water.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, a human.
Yeah, well, we're all good.
Yeah.
90% water in
Yeah.
us.
Is it 90%? Is that
Yeah,
something
like
anyway?
that. Yeah,
It's high.
90%.
It's,
Yeah, it is.
it's definitely over. I don't know.
Yeah,
But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track
Okay,
here.
no
That
problem.
happens to me, you know, Vinny. I am very sidetracked here
Okay.
on Saints and Scholars. You see, we love to do multiple things here. But anyway, so the African Bible. So would that be more for people who have a more religious slant?
Yeah. This
Or is it more of a history book? Which is it here?
This one here is it's somebody with an understanding of life. You just got to.
So it's a philosophical
understanding of life because you got to.
Yeah.
It is.
Fantastic.
You want to explain the cross?
No.
Okay, fine. Okay.
It's a cross.
Yeah, it is a cross.
we
yeah.
want to keep going on this.
Okay.
Now, here you have. This is your latest book.
Yeah, this is my latest.
This is and it's called Abundance.
Abundance now.
Abundance Now, but you don't have that written on it.
No, it's yes.
It's
Abundance now.
Abundance Now.
Yeah.
So, what is abundance?
Abundance. Everybody should live in abundance. Nobody should live without any scarcity. Because scarcity is just a creation by capitalism. It's capitalism. It's a creation. You know.
So abundance would be everybody having what they need, but nothing.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You have to worry about anything. Everything should be shared up amongst.
Yeah.
And not certain people live a rich life and some certain people live poor and others.
So it's a recurring theme in your work, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so here you have a full moon.
Yeah.
Right. Here you have
The
waxing and the waning moons.
The cycle of the moon. You know when
them.
the cycling of the moon, because it starts off. It starts as full and it goes. You know, the shading. It goes and it just and
yeah.
It says the moon taught me it's okay to go through phases, and the sun taught me no matter how many times you go down, keep rising.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to keep rising.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter how many times you get knocked off a horse, we'll say.
Totally.
The whole point is to just get back up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And don't let things get you down.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Can I read something that says here? It says, some become dishonest intellectuals for they see the irrationalities of capitalism but enjoy its benefits way of life for their own selfish reasons and prepared to sell themselves and their morals against the agents. So that was by, I can't even read that lad's name.
Okay.
How do you say that name?
Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah,
You mentioned him.
Yeah,
Who's
he was the the leader of Ghana. He's the one he was inspiring the unity of Africa.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fantastic. Now tell us about this event you were the main speaker at.
I went back to Africa for, I think, just went for a 6-month holiday just during my and I was the main speaker and ended up giving away my books,
Right.
because most of the kids couldn't afford them.
Yeah.
So I ended up.
Well, that's the thing. An
so-
artist has to learn their trade and give it all away for free.
yeah.
That's what we do here in Saints and Scholars. So, yeah. So, did you enjoy that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, the young boys and girls of England, Scotland, Wales, and all around the world, they might be considering doing, not all of them, but they might be considering becoming a writer like you, Vinny. So, what would give them some advice as to what you think would, inspire them? What kind of tips do you have, or do you know that maybe would inspire young people to take up writing? Because it's a long and lonely old road, isn't it?
You must listen and
What?
read. You could listen and read. And
Okay.
if you don't read about other things, then you want to miscrew, and
Yeah.
also try and actually reference it. Once you, especially when you're on a computer, you can check out who's saying what and all this kind
Same
of
what?
thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so to become a writer, are you telling me then, Vinny, that being a writer is well, it's great. It's great for you because you enjoy it. But do you think it's something that everyone would enjoy, or do you think would some people be more suited to less academic work?
it actually would depend because there's a lot of things that can happen. If you have a thought, just write it down. Which is one thing about it, and you never that thought could become something.
Yeah.
That's the whole.
Yeah. So tell us about your discipline then. Are you disciplined to get up early in the morning and go for go for a run and things like that, and then come home and write? Or?
Yeah, I do my own collaboration, which is you gotta think and think and think and think and then just wonder what's this whole thinking about.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, and tell us then where, if anybody did want to buy your books to learn more about South Africa or Africa and solutions and suggestions for how Africa could get out of poverty in certain areas, where do people find your work?
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
Amazon or .co.uk. Amazon.co.uk.
Okay, Amazon.co.uk.
Or even Amazon.com. But Amazon.com is America. Amazon.co.uk is from here. Yeah.
Oh, very good. And IE is Ireland.
Oh yeah. Do you have an Amazon there? Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know the Amazon, the rainforest.
Okay.
Anyway, so where was I now? So let me just check my records. I think that's everything, Vinny. Unless
thank
you
you.
have anything else that you wanted to add to the boys and girls, young people who might want to become a writer. Anything else?
Okay. Believe in your dreams and always aim high. Don't think that you always must aim as high as you can, and just dream on and just dream on and just get there. You get there. If you want to be a musician, get a guitar or something. Just play it. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing about life. You shouldn't be put down by other people.
Yeah.
Which is one thing. Don't share. If you're sharing your ideas, if somebody puts your idea down, just don't worry about it. Just carry on with your idea. If you think that idea can make something, So some people may put you down, but I mean, when I wrote my first book, they were like, you don't know what you're doing. I was like, all right. Now I'm on 9 now.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
And it's your name, isn't it?
Yes.
Vincent Happy Minzy.
Yes,
The Rainmaker, the Sunshine Maker, the Happy Maker.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just to live life.
Live life, be the
and
best you
enjoy it.
can.
Yeah.
Right. My advice for you guys, your homework for the weekend is put on a podcast, pick up a paintbrush or a pen or a pencil, either draw or write or do something creative. Simple.
Yeah.
Just do something creative.
Yeah, totally.
Well, Vinny, it's been absolutely fantastic
It is,
having
yeah,
you on.
thank you
I'm
very
sorry,
much.
I'm not, I'm not Nelson Mandela, but I used to shake my hand.
So I was like, when I shake people's hands, when I was in, I'll just say, you know who's I was like,
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela's hand. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
it was great meeting him, and I
It
met him
was-
so many times.
Yeah.
Even recorded his voice.
He's a great man.
Yeah,
Check
yeah,
him out. He's
yeah.
got some really good stuff, and you can watch movies about him online and stuff. He was brilliant. Oh, we love Nelson Mandela. He was a freedom fighter, and he was a real statesman, a man of the world, good lad.
Remember the concert they used to have in London? Free Nelson
Free
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Yeah, and when we here on Saints and Scholars, when we get to back to Ireland and when we're discussing it, we will talk about Mary Manning, okay? But if you have the chance to look up Mary Manning, she was an Irish lady who worked in a supermarket and brought a lot of attention to the apartheid in South Africa, and we even have a song about it. Christy Moore wrote a song about it, and Ireland was very much behind the ending of apartheid in South Africa. I must actually tell you all about this. Totally gone off on a rant here. Tangent. Yeah. But yeah, check out Mary Manning and Ireland's part in the ending of apartheid in South Africa. We have a very strong tradition of of being on the side for justice. Right, lads and lasses, that's it. Shinny, log back on soon. Check us out. Miss Haggerty will be back. She sends her love. It was her sister's birthday, and she left to go and celebrate that. And it was a 3-day event. I wasn't invited because of social distancing rules and blah 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 blah. But we still love Miss Haggerty. Don't worry. Okay, God bless everyone. Love you all. Later. Oh, how do I turn this off?